we were talking earlier about the sustainability of the Edmonton Oilers, and I was giving a lot of credit to Dave Tippett for the way this team has defended. Now, the goalies have put up impressive numbers, and I believe the aging process of the defense helps. But how much credit does Dave Tippett deserve?
Well, I think you guys hit it pretty well earlier, right? You got, look, the probably the one area of this club that everyone totally questioned when the season started was goaltending.
Yeah.
Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen, right? The old guy and the overpaid guy. So I guess we would say this. All of a sudden, you got Mikko Koskinen at 928, and you got Mike Smith at 926. I believe they are ranked like 7th and 9th in the league among starting goaltenders in save percentage. So, okay, correct. So they're both playing real well, I'll give you that, no question. But I would suspect that Dave Tippett's system in front of them is allowing them, not just one guy to have a good year, but we're looking at both guys are having absolutely great starts here. So, for sure, it's got a lot to do with the quality of chances, the number of pucks they're seeing, the way the Oilers are playing defense. Absolutely, for sure, this is a product of a Dave Tippett club.
Spec, you can't show me a more surprising stat line this year than Koskinen on any team in any division in any conference. What has he been doing to kind of turn this around, and do you think he can keep that up?
Well, you know what? When he left last year and they were firing pucks over his glove hand like left, right, and center, I was as big a skeptic as any single journalist. I saw every one of those goals. I didn't think he could come back and be this good. They said, I talked to goaltending experts, and I asked guys, listen, at how old is he, like 29? Can you go home and fix your glove hand in 3 months and come back in the NHL? And every guy said to me, no chance, okay? No chance. So, look, it's still a small sample size. I believe he's got 9 or 10 starts here, so it's not that big. But I'll tell you what I'm seeing, you guys. When you watch opposition shooters, every single guy went glove side every single time near the end of last season. It started out that way this year, and now we're seeing guys coming down, and they're not all going glove side because the book is starting to change on Mikko Koskinen. So somehow, some way, he figured out how to stop a puck with that glove hand, and all of a sudden, he's a pretty good goaltender at 6'7".
How nice is it for Oiler fans to go down there and not have to worry about the penalty kill?
Well, holy cow. Okay, so here's a stat, because I think I'm going to get into analytics. I'm getting pretty good with these numbers,
all
guys.
these stats.
I knew you'd always get into it, Spec. I knew it was always a
close on all of them.
Okay, listen up, class.
Okay.
The last 5 seasons, okay, 5 seasons before this one, the Oilers' cumulative penalty kill ranked dead last in the National Hockey League. So I think in 3 of those seasons they were last, and the other 2 they were like 28. So they've been absolutely terrible here. It's been a heritage problem in Edmonton. This year I think they're 5th. So right away you're keeping the puck out of your net. Is that because your goalie is your best penalty killer, or is that because your penalty killer is allowing your goalie to make some saves? I think it's a mixture of both here. So start with that. Give him a power play that's up there too. You got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, and you're killing some penalties, and you're staying out of trouble a little bit. All of a sudden, you got a team that can compete, right?
Absolutely. The guy behind the bench, Dave Tippett, Spec, who has he helped the most in terms of the skaters? Like, who do you look at and say, Dave Tippett has helped so-and-so, and it's pretty obvious that's the case?
Well, that's an excellent question. Who would I say? I'll tell you this. He's allowed Leon Draisaitl to show a different side of his game here. I'm not sure how much he's helped him or how much he put him in the position to be a guy who's taken important shorthanded faceoffs, right? To be a guy who's, on one hand, leads the league in scoring, and on the other hand, can play against your best guy. And you know who he's starting to look like? Starting to look a little bit like the big Slovenian Anze Kopitar down in L.A. That's who Draisaitl's looking like. So I'm not going to tell you that Dave Tippett came along and made this player, because Draisaitl was pretty good already. But there's a whole new Leon Draisaitl coming out here. And again, he looks like Anze Kopitar used to look. The only thing is he scores more points.
And he's cheaper.
What's the Mark Spector joining us here on Tim Sid. What's the limit on what we could see point-wise on Draisaitl and McDavid? Because every time I look down at the projections and see, I mean, obviously things can happen, injuries can happen, but like it seems like we're talking 140, 150 maybe if they stay healthy. Is that like?
Oh boy.
Like, these are monstrous numbers that they're on pace for.
Well, and we're at a pretty cool time in hockey, right?
Yeah.
We went through, we had all those, the 80s when guys like Gretzky would, score 200 points. And then we all know where we went. The game fell off of the edge of the earth, and there were seasons with no 100-point scorers.
Yeah.
And now I think last year we have 800-point guys last year? And I think this year, instead of maxing out at 115, 118, why not? Why couldn't Connor McDavid and Draisaitl get into the 120s, maybe 130s? Like, I think the game's allowing it now, and I'm a giant proponent, right, of a 5-4 hockey game once in a while. Not every single night, okay? I don't want 5-4 every night, but just let me know I got a chance, just a chance when I go to the rink, that a 6-5 game might break out. Just let me know that. I'm happy with the game, and I think we're seeing that. There's a lot of 6-5 hockey out there now.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Right now, Draisaitl projected 147 on the year.
That's it?
Yeah.
147.
Oh, boy.
So, I mean, look, he's going to get his numbers, obviously. Maybe not that, but he's going to get his numbers. McDavid, obviously, is getting his numbers. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Spec, his progression, I know he's kind of woken up recently. To me, he's got to be, in the big picture here, one of the most important guys on this roster for a lot of reasons. How does he look to you?
Well, he did. He had a couple goals their last game in Anaheim. You know what he's turning into, gentlemen? Guys get picked number 1 overall, and we just think that they're going to be, right, leading the league in scoring. They're going to be 125-point guys. Well, he's not that. But I'll tell you what he's turning into. He's starting to win some face-offs. He's got a wrist shot you just saw right there. It's starting to – I'm not saying he's Joe Sakic, okay? It's not what I'm saying. But the wrist shot looks like Sakic's wrist shot sometimes. He's becoming the second-line center that now Leon Draisaitl doesn't have to be, right? Nugent-Hopkins allows the coach to play Draisaitl with McDavid every day. Give him another winger, and he could probably run a pretty nice second line. And now you start to get some depth. I'll tell you what, if you got 2 of the top 3 scorers in the league on your first line, and you got a guy in the second line like Nugent-Hopkins who can give you, 65 points, maybe 70 in a good year, now you got enough scoring, I think, to do something.
Spec, I'm going to hit you with some breaking news coming across from Elliot Friedman's Twitter account. There was word this afternoon that LA has informed Ilya Kovalchuk that he will be out of the lineup for the foreseeable future. He is welcome to practice with the club, but he will not be playing. Obviously, more details as they occur from Elliot Friedman. You can react with us because I'm sure you're hearing that for the first time. It is kind of jaw-dropping to see what's going on in LA and then to read that.
Well, so what does it tell us? And I'm thinking on the fly here, guys. Yeah. Does this because it's before December 15th, that is the date after which I know European players cannot come here. Does this open the window for him to go back to SKA St. Petersburg, right? Is this a confirmed, look, pal, we're not playing you anymore, so why don't you make a deal in the KHL and go over there? That would be what I read into it. It's a pretty harsh on a guy you brought over here and thought he could play. I never thought he would help them personally, and he hasn't helped them much. That LA team's got a little bit of trouble in there. I guess they're just trying to open up a roster spot and save a bunch of money at the same time, right?
Right, and some people are trying to draw the conclusion that might mean some sort of trade for Taylor Hall, which has been out there too.
He does have a no movement clause, and it's $6.25 million on the cap for next year as well. This is a sticky situation here. I mean,
9 points, 17 games, minus 10.
You're not trading Ilya Kovalchuk, gentlemen.
No.
You're not.
You're wishing that he goes away. You're right.
You're not trading him. No one's trading for him.
Yeah, I think you're wishing.
Sorry.
You're only wishing that he goes away.
But knowing Todd McLellan the way we kind of all do to a certain extent here in this situation that he's in, this is a bit of a black hole here. How is he going to handle this?
Not the first message he sent, right? Like Tyler Toffoli has sat down a couple times.
Well, listen, Ilya Kovalchuk, as a really veteran guy, has a reputation of being not real coachable. So Todd McLellan's he's got a mixed bag there of overpaid veterans, some couple of okay young guys, a few guys in the middle. That roster doesn't have enough. We all know that. They're not making the playoffs. But what he can't have is one guy on his own program, right? McLellan's first year in there. He's trying to get this thing going in his direction. It's going to be like a 2-3 year build. But you cannot have a player on his own program who doesn't really care much what the coach says. I'm not there. I'm not saying that's what Ilya Kovalchuk did this time, but he's been that guy before. So I would suspect that McCullough got Rob Blake's ear and said, look, I just can't deal with this guy. Let's hope he leaves.